listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
Man, that last minute takes forever, doesn't it? Got to do something about that. All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Saturday, August 12th, 2023. And we're here tonight because we've got clowns in the soup. We've got weirdos in ufology. We've got wrongdoings, and we're calling them, so many things. Who are these people? And what's the real game? It is a joke. It is everything. It is. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It is. It is. Yep, there they are. Bryce Zabel. Snuck him in there. Hey. Where's that coming from? Here? Really? Huh. Oh. Yeah, I forgot to adjust this back to normal when I came back. Yeah, a little bit of screenage. All right. We're good. So, I'm not going over anyone in particular, no specifics, not like there's a main character or anything involved with all the clowns. It just so happens that is the head that fit right behind me. It's the one that just happened to fit perfectly in the center of all the clowns in ufology. And that clown really isn't in UFOlogy. I'm more in ufology than that guy, but that's only by association. Huh? Watch your mouth. That's not a good thing to say. But here we are, Saturday night, just, burning the candle at every end. Both ends. We're going to keep doing it. And we're going to keep going. And we're going to keep voicing our opinions. And we're going to keep getting yelled at, picked on, doxxed. It's always going to happen forever because that's what the weak do. See, I like a good story. I do. I want this to be our disclosure. It all started around, a couple of years ago. And they had the Congressional hearing, first one in 52, some odd years. And then it was amazing. They kept giving us whistleblower after whistleblower, making claim after claim. And after 6 years, nobody's given us any evidence. We had to say, are we going to have disclosure or what? They think disclosure already happened. Elizondo said that disclosure has already happened. I've played the clip 20 times. I don't know where it is now, but he said it. A lot of people have said it. That's when I came out and I started saying, how can we have disclosure? We don't even have evidence. We don't even blah, blah, blah. How can we have disclosure if we don't have any evidence yet? That's what I'm trying to say. My lips are supposed to be moving when I form them, but they're not. My lips don't want to move. I don't know why. I don't know why my lips don't want to move. Who's here tonight? What's that? Roll call, you say? Sure. Jeanette Angel, the angel of Goof On, with the huge supporting ship of £5, £5 super chat. Mucho gusto, generoso. Jeanette, the angel of Goof On. Don't forget. Thanks, Jeanette. As always, thank you in a mucho gusto, generoso type of way. And also, Jeanette I just checked, the PayPal for $12.16 as well. At Gush all over PayPal, she did it. Oh, Jeanette, thank you very much. And you got the candle on both ends. Thank you, Jeanette. Appreciate it. That's right. You can help support the show the same exact way. Super chat, super sticker, PayPal, Cash App. All the links are in the show description. You know what to do already. You've been doing it. And I grazie for you. I grazie for you. Who's this? Andrew Scott, a member for 2 months. That ain't for me. But, yeah, it is. I'm beautiful. Just don't show it anymore. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for being a member. Again, I don't know why my throat's a little phlegm-locked. Shouldn't be phlegm-locked. Welcome to the show, everybody. Brian L., welcome to the show. How you doing, huh? Hey, Sapphire Elf, again, welcome to the... Ooh, I feel like we were just here. You know, it's like it never ends. I think tomorrow I'll take off. Should have taken tonight off. I should have. Thanks, Andromeda Native. How you doing? Tony Introvert, welcome to the show. Josie UK, welcome to the show. Amanda Shale, everybody, welcome to the show. What's up, Richie? Hope everything is good. Yeah, and you're feeling well as well, bro. So take care, brother. Thanks, Glenn Collins, the big band man. Mucho gusto, gracioso. Welcome to the show. Jeremy Seth, welcome to the show. Zach Diecast Mont, welcome to the show. Paula Faust, how you doing, Paula? Welcome to the show. Hey, that's what I was saying the other day. 99.9% of everyone in this field believe Grush, Knapp, etc., and that disclosure has and is happening. I know. They think this... You know when disclosure begins? When real evidence... No, that's not even disclosure. If they showed us a UFO, that's not disclosure. It's just showing us a picture of a UFO. Disclosure is knowing all about the lies, the secrets, the things that have been hidden from the public for however many years. Aliens, where do they come from? Are these their vehicles? Which ones? Are they archaeological dig sites? Were they buried there? Did they crash there? How many of these did we back engineer there? You understand? No, I know you do, but generally. That's disclosure. Not, we now know there's bodies there because this guy heard it from somebody who knows somebody. Okay. That's what we're dealing with. Dorothy calls it the telephone game. It couldn't be any more truthful than that. What do I got here? I got some things I got to play. Was I supposed to be doing something? Oh, yeah, we did roll call. Well, if I didn't say hello, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means we got a lot of show to do and blah, blah, bloop. Nathan from the Quantum Show. Andrew Scott. I think you threw down a buck, right? Yeah, there it is. A $1 super dono. It's pure love from Andrew Scott. Says I'm beautiful and everything tonight. What the hell? What? It's right here. See? It's okay. I'm secure in my manhood. Very. Thank you, Andrew Scott, for contributing several ways. Thanks, man. You know you can't leave the family either now, so. Huh? Throughout the week, I played a video, which I really enjoyed. And it was an interview that Third Phase of Moon did with the lawyer with the hair, Sheehan. And we got almost done. We got about 7 minutes left. It'll end in 5, but I want to play it because what he says, this guy knows so much. We should be paying attention to Danny Sheehan. This guy has heard it all. And he's seen evidence. This guy's seen evidence that we should be seeing. He has to have seen it. Well, he says he has, because he has to defend the constitutional rights of whistleblowers. And that's what he did, 2001 for Greer and the boys. Yeah. So he's saying stuff here that I can jive with. I don't know, man. It was good. Remember, I'm going to finish off where, well, I'm not, but I'm going to finish the video and we'll talk a little bit. This is not a clown. He's not a clown guy. I don't consider Danny Sheehan a clown. I used to question his authenticity. Like, why is this guy? And then I realized, oh, he's the lawyer. He's got to know. And he knows stuff. It's wild what he knows. He talks about the legacy group. This is good.
About these people.
The people that are supposedly in charge of gathering up crashed debris and bringing it back to our homes where we can work on it, back engineer it, figure it out. Some people are saying that the research that the Black Budget projects have been doing has further advanced the technology to 1,000 years in the future. Remember when it used to be everything they're doing at Area 51 is 50 years ahead of where we are today. And then, 35, 45 years later, we see the stealth bomber and go, oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was being misidentified as a UFO. But if it's been going on for 70, 80 years or longer. Shouldn't there be something better than what we've already seen? Well, Rich, there is. Smack me around. Why? Because don't you listen, Rich? I listen. Dr. Greer said don't go there. Dr. Greer said please don't go there. Grush heard the same stories, so I'm going there. All right, I won't.
They work in the stead of the president. Now, this opens on to this question that even somebody like Dick Cheney has been talking about this unitary theory of the executive branch. What it appears that's happening here is that there is an element inside the national security state bureaucracy that is being referred to as the legacy group that has knowledge about the fact that UFOs have been coming to our planet and have crashed and been retrieved and are being attempted to be back engineered, etc. That information, if it's being withheld from the president, being withheld from the vice president, being withheld from the Secretary of Defense, being withheld from the Director of National Intelligence, being withheld from Secretary of State, that would be a renegade operation. And that's an operation that is not protected by the Constitution. They're not shielded by sovereign immunity. And the question is, what's going to be done about these people? Congress is weighing in now to demand that they be given the information. If the information resides within any of the military services, if it resides within the defense agencies, if it resides within any of the American intelligence agencies, and if it resides in any of the defense contractors, that they've got to turn this information over. The question is, who's going to enforce that? You know, what are the protocols going to be? Because it looks like Sean Kirkpatrick, who's been designated as the head of this by the Secretary of Defense, is basically sitting in his office waiting for somebody to come through the door. And if they don't come through the door, he's basically saying, well, that's somebody else's worry. I'm just going to sit here, and if somebody wants to come forward and talk about it, I'll listen. Okay, but that I think it needs to be much more aggressive. They need to be much more forward-leaning. They've got the obligation to go get this information and extract this information. Now, those questions are extremely important, but additionally importantly, what about all the hundreds of other people, thousands of other people who have information about this? People who have in fact been in positions, for example, to theoretically recover some of these craft. You know, if they're part of crash retrieval programs, et cetera, that they're inside the military, but if the military hasn't instructed them to come forward and talk about it, and they don't dare do it, how are we going to get this done? You know, so that I think there needs to be very aggressive civilian oversight about this. So
of course. How is there going to be civilian oversight, military projects? Come on, Danny. Does he say it? Maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
I think that we've set up a new paradigm project inside our Romero Institute. Our Romero Institute is the one that did the major litigation against the Iran-Contra off-the-shelf enterprise. You know, I did the Pentagon Papers case for the New York Times. You know, we did the Karen Silkwood case.
Okay, what can you do for me now?
Track down the people that killed Karen Silkwood. You know, we've done these investigations as citizens groups when the government was supposed to have done those things. Okay, so that what we've done is we've set up a 501c3 public interest new paradigm project to do this investigation, and so that we're engaged in that process now. I'm being scheduled, I think, to meet with Sean Kirkpatrick to have this discussion with him, because I want to offer our services as a public interest organization to bring forward witnesses for him and for that whole project. If they don't interview them and they don't do anything about what the people tell them about, then we're going to have to do something. Okay.
So are these military personnel they're bringing in, or civilians to Kirkpatrick? Kirkpatrick wants nothing to do with civilians. If that's what Sheehan's talking about, we've been clowned by Kirkpatrick and Elizondo and those who are involved with that arrow, getting arrow, providing arrow. Arrow says they have found no evidence of off-world vehicles or aliens, for that matter.
Okay, so that's what we're doing here, and I know that the Disclosure Project, for 20 years, I've been the legal counsel for the Disclosure Project, and I represent Lou Elizondo, as people know now, who was the director of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Project inside the Pentagon.
I didn't know he was still... See, these are the rumors that you hear throughout the years. I heard he wasn't his lawyer anymore. But here he is saying he's his lawyer.
I represented Dr. John Mack when he had his confrontation with Harvard University. I was special legal counsel to the investigation that was conducted under Jimmy Carter by the Congressional Research Services. So, and I was at Jesuit headquarters. I was general counsel for the United States Jesuit headquarters Office of Social Ministry to try to get at this information for the churches to deal with. So I've been at this now for 40 years, and I intend to stay after this stuff until we get it, and we figure out what to do about this. Part of my job is to make sure that the Constitution is obeyed here. It's an important juridical tool that we have to extract this information and get it into the hands of the citizenry, so we can decide as a democracy what we're going to do about this. Because this, we're talking about establishing our relationship with an extraterrestrial civilization that's going to affect our entire human family for 10,000 years. And we can't have some rogue operation that isn't even under the supervision of our constitutional government, be making these decisions. And figuring out that they're going to engage in some kind of warfare with them, or making guesses about what their intentions are.
Okay, this is silly now. Somebody's been making the decisions behind the scenes. It's the same people are going to be making those same decisions. In the end, it always comes back to that person. Whoever that is, we will never know. Yeah, I definitely mean not the president. The people who run the world. I hate that I say it. But Danny Sheehan, then he gets off into his wishful thinking, This is where he loses me, because he does have a lot of qualities that Greer likes, is that he is gullible. Greer likes it when you're gullible. That means you believe him. That means you'll kiss his ass and look at him like a cult leader. Right? See, I know Greer loves being a cult leader. That's what he is. He is. But he isn't. You know when he's a cult leader? When he has those retreats with those people. The guy's the center of attention 24/7 for 2 weeks. Women are laying themselves at his feet. Just take me. Do what you must. Tell the aliens I'm pure. You won't be pure after this. I know. Neither will you. Then they all sing Kumbaya. He puts a towel over his head. They get the vape machine going. What are they called? The vaporizer. They create fog clouds and images in the sky. And then the lights come. It's a beautiful thing. Clowns.
This is outrageous, So I intend to do what I've been doing for 50 years, as the co-founder of the Harvard Civil Rights Law Review, is to enforce the Constitution, to make sure that it's obeyed, and to make sure that our laws are followed, and that the system of government that we've set up in a democracy is adhered to. That's my job.
Well, there it is, the exclusive interview with Mr. Daniel.
I'm going to play this clown footage. More clown footage. These are the new clowns and mixed in with old.
On July 26th, there was a historic congressional hearing on UFOs.
They're all
Three
present.
So-called witnesses, two of them actually never saw a UFO, testified to congressional leaders about UFOs and aliens. We previously released a breakdown of red flags, inaccuracies, and outstanding questions from this hearing. A link to this video is in the description below. The star witness of the hearing was David Grush, who claims alien UFOs have crashed on Earth, and the government is in possession of both the alien craft and the alien bodies. In this video, we'll discuss the dubious characters connected to Grush and how they played a role in pushing UFOs all the way to Congress. Another red flag even before the hearing started, Mick, was the presence and involvement of George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, who sat front and center at the hearing, walked into the hearing like rock stars. In our reporting at the Post, we've, gone into a lot of the claims of George Knapp, who is deeply, deeply, deeply invested in skin.
These are two of the biggest. Sadly, George Knapp is now a clown because he's associated with the biggest one. Second biggest clown in all of ufology. Who's the first? I thought I made that very noticeable. But why are two of the biggest clowns in ufology involved in skiff meetings? Who are they? No. Let's reverse that. We know who George is, and because of George, the shadow follows him everywhere he goes, Corbell. He is his mentor, as he used to say, and he stopped saying it, friend and mentor, George Knapp. But George has to be very tolerant of Corbell because his personality is pretty shitty from what I've heard from people that have known him, spent time with him. He's a very, very energetic fellow. One of those people who just never shuts up and is never wrong. That's Corbell. Even behind the scenes, he's the same. He's just an asshole. I would hate to have that reputation. I would hate to have his reputation as a hoaxer, a liar, a bad filmmaker, and a bad human. But yet here he is going into skiff meetings, hearing sensitive information that can't be revealed to the public. Somebody needs to explain that to me. It makes no sense. Nobody can figure this one out. The only thing I can think of is that they are part of the disinformation campaign that goes along with the whistleblowing campaign. I've always said this about what these people in ufology are doing. It's all about money. Maybe not personal money or whatever, but it is. But it has to do with getting funding for projects that they want funded. Whatever it is. Helping their military buddies get funding so they can have jobs for another 4 years. Put these little programs together and call them threat assessment programs. In the act of figuring out what are these UAPs, they say. We don't know what they are. We don't know when they are. We just know that they are. And that's a threat. They're flying in our secure airspace with impunity, and it's just not right.
Walker Ranch and the stories of Bigfoot and the stories of God knows what, with no evidence ever presented, who admits there's no evidence.
No evidence.
Well, no, not really.
But despite that, writes books about it, claiming it's true. And these...
See, right there. He admits it. There's no evidence at Skinwalker Ranch. No, not really. And that's not taken out of context either. And yet they write books, TV shows, make a movie or two. It's really, really weird. It's clown shit, bat shit crazy. It's crazy. It is. You're letting the lunatics run the asylum. That's what's really happening here. And I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I don't mean it as a dig, a jab, or to hurt anybody. It is the truth. Absolutely it is. You're letting a hoaxing, lying person who has a very bad, everybody knows Corbell's history behind the scenes. He's an irritant. He's a fly in the ointment. Nobody really likes him, but they tolerate him because he gets shit done by being annoying. You see? And that keeps popping up about him. Over the last 5 years, it's popped up many times to me from people who know him, or have known him, or used to know him, or don't know him, or want to know him anymore.
These two folks, you've got Jeremy Corbell, a former yoga instructor turned apparently military expert, who's an expert on all of this all of a sudden. We learned that they met Grush, a long time ago.
Dave Grush approached us first.
At like a Star Trek convention or something.
We actually did meet at a Star Trek convention.
He came to the event. He heard our presentation. Yeah. We spent some time together to talk about topics of mutual interest.
And then they met up at a UFO conference. And there's a photo of Grush sitting at a table with George Knapp, with Jay Stratton, with Travis Taylor. Those three deeply involved with Skinwalker Ranch, deeply involved with dubious claims of...
They are corrupting this guy's mind. They are just corrupting him from every angle. They got him surrounded. If you testify, it would be huge. But I never saw anything. It doesn't matter. People like us. People know we're credible. We're on TV. That's right. You're on TV. David Grush starts thinking, TV, huh? That sounds like fun to me. Let me hear what else you have to say. So, Skinwalker Ranch, ghosts, ghouls, and detonates. Oh, that's fascinating. And you're aware of this, Mr. Stratton? Aware of it? I've experienced it, kid. Come on. Are you paying attention? I am. It's a lot to take in. Well, pay attention. We're going for a ride. Travis, tell them more about Skinwalker. Listen to this, kid. I love me Skinwalker Ranch. All right, first of all, shut the fuck up. I was kidding. All right, here we go. Continue with this unbelievable attack. Getting him at every event, everywhere he goes. They're there. Coincidence?
Just the craziest stuff ever. Have never presented any evidence. They're sitting right behind Grush, and then Burchett thanks them.
I want to thank everybody for making this happen today. I know I saw it in the crowd there, George Knapp, my buddy Jeremy Corbell.
What were your thoughts on that whole...
That's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. And that was a big red flag. And as soon as I saw the witnesses lined up, you had Graves, Grush, and Fravor. And right behind on either side of Grush, very, very visible, were George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, who, as you know, have this very dubious history of inaccurate reporting of...
Right. And I want you to look at this. Look at Grush's face.
Of UFOs and inaccurate reporting this very dubious Jeremy Corbell.
I mean, nobody on the planet is sitting in public making this face. Nobody. George is smiling like a normal person. They're talking. He's listening. This guy's looking down. Everybody's got a normal facial resting except for little David. He is absolutely on another level of cuckoo. And they've abused him, in my opinion. In my opinion. I feel bad for him. I really do. He's losing it. He doesn't want to be there. His body language is always, always wrong. He looks like he wants to go hide. Yeah, he's not having fun. This isn't fun for him. It's not what they told him it was going to be. They said, don't worry, we'll protect you. Don't worry, nobody's going to attack you. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. And everything they said don't worry about is happening. Just look at him. Nobody looks like this on the planet. At this moment, unless they're acting, nobody has that resting face. Or smiling face. I don't know, what kind of face is that? Scared. Hey, scared. Let's get to the next part of this here. I'm telling you, man, this is a crazy, crazy world we're living in. Andrew Scott says, hey, beautiful is what happens when I get high on weed. I got you there, Chief. Thank you for the $5 super chat telling me that, because that settles that. Thank you. Andrew Scott throwing it down a few times. And an Andromeda native with $10. Yeah, they have been chosen, Corbell and Knapp, to plant the disinformation seed to help the agenda. You are correct, Richard. You know, I don't know. But my gut tells me these guys are wrong. Everything they do has been terrible, just awful, just like Lou. Just like Lou. Everything Lou touched turned to crap or changed and never went back to its beautiful ways, Andrew. Thank you, Andromeda Native, as well. Mucho gusto generoso. Huge super chat. Thank you very much. All right, play it.
Who, as you know, have this very dubious history of inaccurate reporting
Corbell.
of UFOs. And a great example of that was this recent case from 29 Palms, which was a video that was released by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. They said that there was this giant triangular craft the size of a football field that was hovering over this camp.
Now, let's not forget, Mick, it didn't start out that way. Only within hours of him posting those lights, the flares, was when people started saying, I see a craft. And then Jeremy goes, you know what? They said that too on the ground, now that I recall. And then it became part of the story. This is why I don't like what they do. And they represent lies. Now, I know it would be great to say, look, everything that Corbell and Knapp has shown us is a depiction of a real UFO event that may have happened. And that's what I think they get. I think they get videos that are recreations, or they just found them in archival footage and used it and said this is what they were seeing, when in fact it's not. It's flares. And just because, you know, people on the ground, 25-year-olds, you know, they're all what, recruits and shit. They're all young kids. They haven't been looking up at the sky. They don't know anything about what light looks like. And, you know, if you know what I mean. They don't know because they've never seen it before. So, you know, whatever. It's just, I just wish Jeremy Corbell would have said, after further review, turns out these were flares.
For a long period of time.
That went everywhere. That story went everywhere, all over the news, as this triangle UFO, this spooky ship, this craft for weeks.
Mystery in the sky. Do you see the 5 dots there on your screen?
Looks like a triangle seeming to hover over a base out at 29 Palms.
A triangular formation of light. Could this really be a mass UFO sighting? Joining us now is Jeremy Corbell. And
Jeremy Corbell himself joins us right now.
Jeremy Corbell, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And then it was almost immediately proven to be flares. What it actually was what a lot of people pointed out within minutes of the video being released was flares. Very common source of UFO sightings are military flares because they often drop them in patterns, and they're quite large in the sky. They're spacing, and they descend fairly slowly and stay there for a while. So we proved like 100% exactly what these were, these flares. It really wasn't that hard to figure it out.
Thank you, Jeff Garvey, throwing down $5. Thought you'd drop a Siegfugel. Siegfugel. He's part of the problem, but has been silent as of late. Da? Maybe he's smartened up just a wee bit. Thanks, Jeff. I don't know what accent I'm doing, but I appreciate the $5 support, man. Mucho gusto, Mr. Generoso. Thanks, man. Paula Faust. Scared me. A member for 16 months. I always enjoy your channel, watching it. Always on point. You're awesome. Live long and prosper. Keep looking up to the stars. That is such a perfect message. And I will. And I thank you for those kind words. Pretty much always on point. Yeah, pretty much. And I am awesome. Live long and prosper. I'm trying. And keep looking up to the stars. Definitely am. Definitely. Thanks, Paula. Sweetheart. And a very good supporter of the show. Good. Thank you very much. And for the membership. Yeah, thank you. 16 months. I think that's when we first started memberships. Thank you. Man. All right. Continue this.
Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, they were the people responsible for leaking the green triangle video. And
they called it, and Knapp, Corbell, they're reporting it was flying pyramids.
Yeah, they said these green triangles were actually triangular shaped, and they were actually like
Can't believe it's over 2 years already.
Investigative filmmaker Jeremy Corbell recently released this video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs.
UFOs are real. They represent an advanced and sophisticated technology.
And then you, of course, proved without a doubt that the triangle shapes we see are actually due to the triangular shape of the camera's aperture. Basically, with a triangular aperture, anything that's out of focus would look like a triangle. You also proved without a doubt that most of the objects in the videos
and yet they still accept Corbell as a legitimate UFO guy. Why? I'll tell you why. And you're not going to like it. It's George Knapp. There were rumblings that people did not want Jeremy Corbell near anything. But yet here he is because of who? George Knapp saying, come on, it's okay. His face is my face. If people don't see me or him together, they're going to be curious. You can't just leave me in and not put him in there. No, can't do it. I don't know if that's how it went down. But to be seated directly behind Grush and the other two, it was weird. And I just don't understand how those two can get in. Well, George Knapp with his credentials. Isn't he an award-winning journalist? And I guess they feel they're responsible for bringing Grush to America, to America's eyes. I don't know what I was trying to say. But they're the ones responsible, right? Isn't that weird? Don't you think it's weird? Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp are responsible for two of the most questionable UFO events stories of our time. Bob Lazar and David Grush. Doesn't that seem to fall in line with everything they do? So why are we still waiting for them to drop the next UFO video? Because it's fun? Yeah, that's why I'm waiting. Because it is fun. I just wish they didn't do it. Period. And when you make a mistake, you admit it. They don't.
Photos were actually just stars. Out of focus stars.
All right.
Was, and he tweeted saying basically it's complete nonsense, it's a lie, it's a disinformation, the triangular aperture theory is just a big distraction from the...
Funny how Jeremy would use the word disinformation when he's the one that's disinforming us. You see, it comes out. The longer you get to watch these people, you can see that happening. You can see them. What do they call that when not forecasting, but you're projecting? You're projecting what you're doing onto what we're doing. Such a leftist move.
The reality of things, when in fact it was all 100% accurate. That's what actually happened.
It is.
As was confirmed by the Pentagon.
The triangular appearance is a result of light passing through the night vision goggles and then being recorded by an SLR camera. It is simply that light source resolves itself through the night vision goggles onto the SLR camera as a triangle.
But even that's an interesting thing. The Pentagon confirmed, the theory that I and various other people came up with because it was so obvious. But the Pentagon said they didn't figure it out for 2 years. And what's going on there? Who was actually looking into it? Oh, it's the UAP task force at that time, which would have been Jay Stratton and Travis Taylor.
Isn't that amazing? All right. Two big, huge clowns that their pictures should be on my thumbnail, and they're not. How did I forget these two clowns? Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing? It's so freaking amazing. The only way anybody would know why that's crazy, you would have to be in this field to know it. The public wouldn't be able to figure it out. Just they don't know. They don't know the history. But the fact that these two bozos were in charge, two Skinwalker Ranch ghost hunters were in charge of identifying unidentified aerial objects at the Pentagon in 2019 to 2021. Isn't this amazing? It's amazing. They're dirty, filthy, scumdoogery type of freaking warped minds. These people are disgusting. At every chance, every turn, these guys are screwing it up. Dropping the ball on purpose. They're friends with them. That's why. This is unreal. Really, it really is. This is amazing to me. This really puts a nail in the coffin. Everything I was assuming.
They couldn't figure it out for 2 years. This simple little optical thing. Travis Taylor, PhD in optics, couldn't figure it out. What's going on?
These are ancient aliens stars. These are, authors of books about ghosts and werewolves. These are people who have been hawking the UFO and ghost and paranormal story for decades. Who,
as an outsider, you may think Stephen Greenstreet and people like me are being awfully crude. Oh, he's an author. Nah, you don't know the whole story. You don't know where these guys came from, why everything that they're doing is such dirt. They're the worst of the worst. and yet they're being called credible experts in the field of ufology. I'm embarrassed to even be in the same field as them. 100%. They suck. They're bad people. They're bad. These are bad people. They're worse than clowns. They're evil clowns. They really are.
Make a living off of this. Their life depends on everything being
Yep.
spooky. And they're not only in attendance, but we hear from congressional leaders, they're part of the process. They're influencing the leaders. They're submitting statements.
George Knapp, my buddy Jeremy Corbell. They're not witnesses, but they've provided some statements on this subject, and I seek unanimous consent to enter those statements into the record, Mr. Chairman.
Unbelievable.
Which is just baffling.
Unbelievable.
To me, because Jeremy Corbell has done nothing other than promote a narrative and release a whole bunch of really terrible UFO videos that get almost immediately debunked. He's a very good talker. He's quite compelling if you don't know the facts behind the case, but somehow he's managed to have this influence over people in Congress.
After the UFO hearing ended, News Nation reported that Congressman Burchett originally had more than just 3 witnesses lined up to testify. On August 6th, Jeremy Corbell claimed that there were 5 congressional UFO witnesses and that all 5 were in attendance at the hearing. So who, according to Corbell, were the other 2 congressional witnesses? George Knapp and himself.
How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? That they may possibly be witnesses in a UFO congressional hearing or whatever. How does that make you feel? I tell you how it makes me feel. It makes me feel sad to be an American with those 2. Lying. Knowingly lying about UFO videos they have given to the public, whatever. They know they're not real. They know it. I know they know it. Because you would have to be an idiot to not know it. Especially with the bokeh, and especially with the radar one, and especially everything he's put out has been just grossly debunked. And if that were anybody else, if that was third phase of Moon, how many people would want their heads? Right? It would never end. And that goes for a lot of people. I know, but, they post videos. It's amazing to me. There's not a double standard. There's a Corbell standard. He gets preferential treatment, and I want to know why. Why is he still being allowed to show us these things? The only thing that makes sense to me is a couple of things, really. The one I just mentioned, where they're showing us things that look like things that people saw. It's the famous way of hoaxing. What's his name did it? Fat Fuck Tony did that. I took somebody else's video and I made it mine because it's exactly what I saw and I just couldn't catch mine on video. So I stole theirs. That's kind of what I feel is going on. Or, which I am beginning to believe more than ever, that Jeremy Corbell and Knapp are disinfo guys. Because nothing else makes sense. They're not credible. I don't care what anybody says to me. You cannot say Corbell and Knapp are credible. more Corbell than Knapp at being not credible. You just can't spin it any other way. There's no credibility with these guys. Why they're at the highest of meetings about UFOs in our government is beyond me. I want to know why. We have a right to know. We have a right to know. And they shouldn't be in skiff meetings. You know? Clowns. 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 On another level. I mean, you see this picture of Grush right here? It's right here. Just to down here in the thumbnail. Nobody on the planet is making that face at any moment. Unless it's a kid or a chimpanzee walking outside seeing the sky for the first time. Why does he look so crazy all the time? Something's wrong. Something is definitely wrong with this picture. I mean, not that picture. I'm just talking with the whole picture in general. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. I got to show you this video. Because this is Grush in that video. Yeah, you knew it was coming. Oh, look at him there. Look at him. Look at him right here. I hate that it's backwards. Right here. See him? Remember that face. I don't pick on him. He's got PTSD. So do I. Isn't it? Then he puts a finger in his ass and throws it at us. Thank you. That was funny. In between the clown show, we ourselves here at GoofOn have to deal with people picking on us for the things we believe in, because there's a lot of people who believe in the bullshit story that's being told to us by Grush and everybody else. And they don't like what I'm saying about it. What it really comes down to, everyone, evidence. You should not believe in a story that's hearsay. Because just like the game telephone, after one or two messages, things start getting a little, convoluted. So, anyway, I've got a video here that goes back to World War II showing this UFO. I've never seen this until today. It's beautiful. This is what we need.
Per second, but I think this roughly represents real time.
Now, this could all be fake, but it's beautiful anyway.
I have a few more World War II era film reels that I have to work through, but I need to digitize them first before I process and post them.
Oh, okay. Good to know. That's the sun glinting off of the metallic craft. It's glinting. I don't know if it's real, but it looked good. It was fun. All right, here's a good discussion. And I want to play this for a minute or two. This is really important. This is what... this This is what people are talking about. It says more UFO witnesses, whistleblowers, frightened for their lives, or they'd go public. So I wrote, they should be fearing for their lives. Without any evidence to back up their story, it's treason. I wouldn't want to commit treason if I were them. It's not worth it. We got all the whistleblower info we need, right? Grush said we have the pilots and the craft hidden. Now show it. Now show it. How long does it have to resonate in the public before they show us anything? Because the public only hears one thing. Aliens are here to attack us. That's what they think. Anyway, listen to this interview. It was on a show, Rising, I think it's called. It's a good convo. Go.
As lawmakers' investigations into unidentified flying objects looms overhead, many might be asking, what does this all mean? Hill opinion contributor Merrick von Rennenkamp, who also served as an analyst with the United States Department of State's Bureau of International Security, makes the case that the UAP saga could lead to two conclusions. Either the United States government has mounted an extraordinary decades-long cover-up of UFO retrieval and reverse engineering activities, or elements of the defense and the intelligence establishment are engaging in a staggeringly brazen psychological disinformation campaign. He writes this in The Hill. Merrick von Rennenkamp joins us now to discuss. Welcome to our show.
Thanks so much for having me back, guys.
So, yes, we've been talking about UAPs a lot lately, ever since the David Grush interview. Why don't you tell us more about the potential for what you described as a psychological, disinformation campaign? What does that approach, if that's what's going on, look like? And does that even have to do with what we're talking about now? Are we talking about this because of actions the government or the people trying to either publicize this or bury it are taking?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Robbie. And from my perspective, and I'll just zoom out a little bit and take maybe a 30,000-foot view. There's certain facts in this story that I think we can all agree on. And from my perspective, those facts lead to either two extraordinary conclusions. And again, one is that there's this decades-long UFO retrieval and reverse engineering effort, or two, that there is.
The answer is yes, Donovan. I think last night I said it, that my gaydar went off immediately. For Grush, yeah. No, it doesn't mean I don't want the guy. I'm not gay, but it means that my gaydar picked up, which is radar. He's a closet gay guy. Yeah. I think he is. Yeah. Now, a lot of times over life, I may never find the answer to that curiosity question. Someday he may come out with that. Like 20 years from now, Grush will be what? 50? He'll be my age. He'll be 60 maybe. And he'll be like, I've been gay my whole life. I just faked it for publicity. I didn't want anybody to know I was gay. Yeah, he is.
A disinformation campaign. That's just the way I see the facts as they stand, leading those two kind of paths. And as far as the disinformation campaign, I don't know what the motivation would be. Maybe it's to fool our adversaries into thinking that we have some remarkable technology in our possession. I don't know to what end.
Oh, yeah. And there's the other one. What if it's because we're so far behind China in hypersonic technology? the words I heard on that drone technology, hypersonic technology, the words that went out a few months ago were, they were light years ahead of the United States. Light years far more advanced than us. And I believe it because I bought a DJI drone, which are made in China. And that technology is so sound until recently. But that drone, man, I can't believe what they put. If you never had a DJI drone, yeah, I'm telling you, you understand. I know those are commercial, not commercial drones. They're for us, consumer drones. But to me, when I compare it to other drone makers that are in America, their drones suck in comparison. So anyway, they use different satellites. DJI has a whole system of satellites specifically made for their drones. Yeah, it's an amazing thing they did. They're light years ahead of us. So it would make sense that we would concoct this threat and then act like we knew about it. We're just letting you know about it and that we have it under control. But many times, Elizondo and other people have come out and said, we can't. Fravor said it. If I was to go to battle with this thing, I'd lose. I'm paraphrasing. We don't have anything to match it. And if that's China drone technology, the real shit that the military uses, wow, are we in trouble? So it makes sense to me that you would have a whistleblower come out and say, we have alien technology and the pilots that were with them in our possession. Now it makes sense. Now it makes a little more sense. Doesn't that make sense to you? Makes sense. And these new amnesty laws where you have 60 to 90 days to turn your shit in or be shit on if you lied. That doesn't. That's bullshit. That's bullying tactics. You could do one of two things if you're that person. If you have this alien technology in your possession and you're not telling the government, don't ever tell them you have it. You will never be treated the same. There's no such thing as amnesty with the government. The only thing you can do is shut your mouth and let them figure it out. And I hope, I pray that these people that have this alien technology do not disclose it to our government. That's going in the wrong hands. Maybe that's what's happening. And maybe for one of the few times in history, the civilians control the action. They're in control. I think the government knows this. That's why they're trying every trick in the book. Amnesty laws? Are you kidding me? Give me a break. Everybody knows it's suicide. So, I like this guy though.
I suspect that would be, I'm not a lawyer, but I suspect a massive disinformation campaign along those lines would be illegal. That's intentionally targeting potentially U.S. citizens. And so there are reasons to be skeptical of that. But those are the two options that I'm coming up with, and I'd love to hear alternative takes and different theories. But that's the conclusions that I'm coming up with based on the facts as I understand them.
Well, I think the argument for a disinformation campaign is that, one, it could be an effort to distract from other kinds of news stories that are less advantageous to either or both establishment parties. I don't think that the deep state, I think people would argue, is particularly concerned with whether or not the actions they take are legal. There, of course, have been efforts to promote certain kinds of art and culture in the past. For example, in the mid part of the last century, representational art was disfavored as an effort by the CIA in favor of abstract art, because representational art was seen to be kind of Soviet and advancing people's movements and valorizing the proletariat, as opposed to abstract art, which had fewer narratives. So that certainly is not a thing. That kind of social public manipulation is not beyond the reach or the historical choices of the US government. But I guess on the other side, people don't want to prematurely.
What do you want to send me? What is going on? Send me what? That I would get into what? Sean? DJI is China. China. I don't know what you guys were talking about. It's hard for me to follow conversations in the chat room. So if I don't know, sorry. Anyway, yep, same old stuff. Anyway, got that. Good. Another clown kind of within the last few years is Ross Cuckold, better known as the Australian Nazi, I think, right? Isn't that what they're calling him? Yeah. That guy's egghead is just getting bigger and bigger. He's nasty. He really is. Sad. He's addicted. He's gotten addicted to the limelight. And you can see it in his eyes. I saw that same thing with Dave Scott. It's a turnoff. Big turnoff. Anyway, hey, I'm not perfect either. I'm not saying I am. It's just what I'm saying. I forgot to set you up with this today. It's my fault if you forgot.
Ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place.
Sorry.
The Department of Defense, ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy. I'm not a ufologist. I never have been. I never will be. I'm a counterterrorism and counterespionage guy. I do counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2008, I was asked to apply those same skill sets into the UFO community.
Just a daily reminder. I said I would do it, and I forgot. There's a couple of sightings I have to play for you. Wow. Here's one that is, well, it's not a UFO sighting. This is a great example of nearby jets that are viewed from the ground with FLIR. FLIR shows smaller glares and atmospheric turbulence, helping to demonstrate that the gimbal UFO video is not of nearby jets or viewed from the ground. It's pretty good. It's just about a minute long, but I really enjoyed the video. Example, anyway. See that? Oh. See? You can make them look like anything you want, man. You can make them invisible. You can make them just be orbs. You can take the wings off by saturating the light from that craft. It's amazing. The gimbal is an interesting video, though. I still think the gimbal is a drone. And that's that. I don't know. It's a pretty cool video. I like that video. Gives you a little example of what people look at when they're looking through that camera lens. Hold on, I'm getting emails. Let me see. Let me refresh. Wow. Well, that is weird. All right. All right. Here's an example of what is going on with comedians and UFOs. This is what people think of UFOs. Sad. Very sad.
Aliens. You're coming up with that? Well, yeah.
Did you hear it? Did you hear them all laugh? What a joke.
Aliens could
Come on, I want to move backwards.
be showing up any day now. Nobody flinched. Nobody flinched. They shot down UFOs. If this was 15 years ago, we would think it's independent. Did you hear the shot down UFOs? Let's build a bunker. What do we do? We'd be freaking out. They went on TV and said, we shot down UFOs. People are like eating sandwiches going, oh my God, these guys are just... And why'd you shoot it down? It was dangerous. How do you know that? Well, we don't.
Because it was there. It's what America thinks. It's what people are doing. We shot down a few UFOs and nobody cared. Do you think it had to do with them mentioning the word balloons? It did. It had everything to do with the word balloons, weather balloon. As soon as they said balloon, that was it. Same thing happened with crop circles. As soon as they said Doug and Dave are out there with 2 boards and some rope. Oh, that's it. That's it. It's embarrassing. Pilots report swarm-like objects in military zones amid UAP movement. Let's get back to that. More UFO witnesses, whistleblowers frightened for their lives. Is that what I just played? I thought I just played that. I guess not. Hold on, let me see if I did. Yeah, I did. I had it in there twice. Look at me. I actually paid attention. All right. Here we go. Do you want an update on what's going on in Peru? All right, me neither. Me neither. We can expect the next UAP hearing in September, according to Congressman Glenn Grothman. It's early to tell whether it's going to be public or behind closed doors. Really? But things still keep moving. No! No! That's not moving. That's not moving. That's behind closed doors. The idea of being a whistleblower is to be out in the fucking public. Not to go, I'm going to whistleblow today. Over here, though. You know, and go hide in a room with a skiff and a... All right. All right. Let's calm down. Check this out. It has been verified now. This is something I predicted would happen 10 years ago. 2015. Well, whenever. A while ago. The James Webb Telescope captured an image of the most distant star in the universe, Arendelle. They say it's 28 billion miles away. You know what that means? The universe doubled in size. Exactly what I said would happen. How could I make such a prediction and not get the credit I deserve is beyond me. It is. It's beyond me. I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for that. I predicted it. There it is. That's the bit right over here somewhere they said she was. Let's see the next picture. Yeah, right here. There's Arendelle. Right. See, somebody on the opposite side of the galaxy is going to turn back around and said, I found this dot. It's kind of blue. I don't know how we missed it, but I don't know. It's there. Let's go visit it. How far away is it? 28 billion light years away. Oh, it's right next door. What? So now the universe is 52% bigger than it was 6 months ago. And you know as well as I do, it never ends. So that has to be a big problem, because all the data that they gave us was predicated on a small dot exploding at that juncture, at that place in this universe. Didn't happen. Didn't happen that way. So now what? Where do you put that dot, that point of origin, where nothing turns into something? Where? They got a lot of explaining to do. The origin of the beginning of time has been altered. Everything's wrong. You see, they say it happened right there and everything went out in all directions. Well, it didn't, because now we know it's 52% bigger. So where is the starting point? Can't be here. It's got to be at the 28 billion mark. Oh, yeah, you're right. Of course I'm right. Oh, what a quandary. How are they going to figure it out? I'll tell you how. Die. That's the only way you're going to know. You get all the answers when you die. You just got to die. That's it. It can't be any more, you know. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Can you hear this? Oh, hold on. So you would have to die. And to all the clowns out there, I kind of wish they would just change their ways. Admit when they're wrong, Jeremy. I mean, we didn't talk about a lot of people. But what's going on is just awful. Just awful. And we shouldn't stand for it at all. You see what they did to me? They screwed me. Damn! So what should Damn! So I don't need to. That's all I'm asking. Stop! I didn't press play that time. You're going to get me in trouble. think I went over by a second. All right. What else we got? It's your fault I'm this way. Okay, I have a great question. You want to talk about the weirdness that's been going on with airplanes, people on airplanes? And I noticed a pattern. There's a pattern. And the videos that I keep seeing are of women losing their minds. Why are women losing their minds on airplanes? I haven't seen any guys get, I mean, it happens, but lately, it's all women.
We on the ground, right? Yes. I'm tired. I ain't smoked a cigarette.
So are we. Who cares? It's a good time to stop smoking.
My kids is waiting on me.
Shut up. Got kids here. Shut up.
I didn't touch her.
I saw.
I didn't touch her.
Yes, lady.
I didn't touch you. I went around like that.
Arrest your ass in Orlando. Let's go.
If you don't go take a seat right now, you're going to be mental. You get the fuck out of my face.
Please.
You have a lot of witnesses. Yo, get the fuck out of my face.
Hell, man.
Let's have a calm down moment.
If you open up that door, the slide will deploy, and then this
I don't give a fuck what deploys.
Anybody.
I don't give a fuck what deploys. I want to get the fuck off.
We won't be doing any faster through that door. So let's start going.
You should have drove. Should have taken the bus.
When you call law enforcement, guess what? I'm gonna get off. You stupid as fuck, because when you call law enforcement, I'm gonna get off, bitch.
Let's just have a seat.
Now let me the fuck off.
And then a woman says, and you'll end up going to jail. People. What is going on with the women on airplanes? Right? You can't act that way on an airplane at all. Oh, yeah. I almost got kicked off of an airplane. Yeah. Because I didn't want to, because, I used to be a lot bigger and stronger. So they eyeball you when you come in. And I'm sitting down and in my seat, and I had the, what do you call it, seat? The exit, because you get a little more leg room. So I like sitting there. First time ever in all my years of flying, one of the stewardesses or flight attendants comes over and says, "Sir, are you able to handle an emergency situation should one arise if I needed your help?" I said, "Why are you asking me this?" And I didn't realize because I was sitting where I was. And she goes, "Well, you're sitting in, the emergency exit." I go, "And?" And she goes, "Well, if you're not willing to help anybody, I'm going to have to get somebody to sit here who's willing to help people in case of an emergency." I said, "There won't be an emergency. Don't worry about it." Then another one comes over with her. Maybe her boss says, "Sir, you need to let us know if you could help us in an emergency situation." I said, "Of course I'm going to help you. Thank you." I go, "Well, it doesn't make sense the way she came up to me. If you would have just asked, come out and said it." Go around hemming and hawing of why I'm sitting there. Just tell me. It just bothered me. Of course I'm going to help. Who wouldn't? It still bothers me to this day. All right. What was I going to pull up here? We're not hearing a lot from Canada, are we, on the UFO subject? Very little is coming from Canada that I'm aware of. I don't follow what goes on in Canada unless there's a sighting. All right, I got to play this video. This is one of the videos I'm supposed to play. Could the recent UFO testimony being entertained by Congress have anything to do with increased military spending taking a deeper dive in today's show. Russell Brand. He's very smart. This is only a minute long, but that's a great point. Of course it has to do with the increased spending. What else would it be? Ufology is always about money. Follow the money. Follow ufology.
UFOs, even if they are real, will be used to create massive military budgets and huge distractions.
These objects have been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, and then going straight back up.
It says Tic Tac was far beyond current tech. Oh, they don't mean ordinary Tic Tacs. My God, it's sweet, it's sour, there's so many of them in here. This is blowing my mind. What's that in the sky? Nothing. These are delicious, though.
Tic Tac, sir?
This tweet from the Empire Files, wonder if all the UFO stuff suddenly being entertained by Washington has anything to do with this. US Space Force budget hits $30 billion in 2024 proposal. That sounds like the government to try and use a cultural or public phenomena to generate more revenue for Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. There are extraterrestrials from another dimension, and they come here in peace. That's why we've asked Lockheed Martin to build these new, deadly things.
Couldn't be more truthful. So funny. Yeah, that's what it is. It's obvious. What really bothers me is that you get people in this field like an Anjali, for example, who goes around telling people of her supposed interaction with these aliens who a few years ago were on somebody's property in a cave-like environment underground under a mountain, which nobody could find the mountain. It doesn't exist. The whole story was bullshit. Anyway, you get these people, and because they sound credible and they may look credible, or the timing is right for them, and people will start following them and believing them without any reason to, other than just because they like the message. That's dangerous in ufology, and that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. There's more of them than me. I'm losing every day. It is very difficult for me to keep this up without help. It is. It's me against everybody on Twitter. Twitter, X, I don't care. I'm going to call it Twitter forever. I'm not going to say X. So, there. When we were watching the Stephen Greenstreet video, and he says, from 2019 to 2021, Jay Stratton and Travis Taylor were the ones taking the UFO reports for the country at the Pentagon. And they ignored Jeremy Corbell's green glob pyramid. Yeah, it's just too convenient. You can't have these people in power. You just can't. You can't. Nobody's being voted in. They're just being brought in. Corbell and Knapp should not be in any type of SCIF meeting or congressional hearing, sitting directly behind the witnesses or whistleblowers. There's no reason for that. It doesn't make sense. Nobody has explained that to me. Other than that, they just have a working relationship with the whistleblower, David Grush. And they were almost gonna speak and give testimony to what? How Bob Lazar shined his shoes the day of his first interview? How Jeremy Corbell hates wearing socks and likes going clam digging in his own home? What? What have they done? What have they done to get that kind of clearance? They've done exactly the opposite of what someone who's credible is supposed to do. They did the exact opposite. How many times have you heard me say we're living in bizarro world? Up is down, down is up, in is out is in. That's what's happening. And they're laughing at us. They're like, I can't believe we get away with this shit. Nobody really pays attention, Jeremy. You know that's how the public is. They just read the first two lines and they're on to their... George, I know. You don't have to tell me anything. Shut up. Jeremy, that's no way to talk to your friend and mentor. George, STFU, buddy. Not in the mood. I've got a migraine headache from smoking too much weed today. Well, maybe you should have slowed down when you had your third... George, banana. Those guys are clowns. And then you got the haters. The Fesslers. The Scambians. Who in this field make it very difficult for people to enjoy ufology. Because who wants to listen to somebody who promotes doxing, who promotes violence and hate? I don't. I do not. You've never heard me say attack this person or that person. It's never happened. Because it goes against policy, YouTube policy. I don't take the chance. They can all they want. Lou Elizondo started that because these guys are so insecure and they felt Lou Elizondo was on their side that they would do anything for their hero. We've got Lou Elizondo coming on the show. I can't believe he's going to give us some inside shit before the show even starts. You know, you can't talk about it on the show. I know, but Lou's going to tell us some inside shit. It's going to be great. We're going to be friends, and then we're going to keep doing the show, and all the subscribers, oh, we're going to be so big. Oh, he's here. And they don't ask any hard questions, and they're not truthful to how they really feel because Lou's there. If Lou was here right now, I'd say you were the biggest mistake that's ever happened to ufology. Right to his face. Biggest mistake. And he knows it too. He knows it. He knows it because he said it, basically. In more than one way, right? All right. Maybe he did. No, he did. He did. He definitely said it. Many times.
In the first place, I didn't ask for it. I left the Department of Defense, ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy. I'm not a ufologist. I never have been. I never will be. I'm a counterterrorism and counterespionage guy. I do counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2008, I was asked to apply those same skill sets into the UFO community. I left the
And then we have people in the community that get in close. Lou Elizondo did it right. And I said this a year ago. He went to the small channels that had people in the military there. Like the host was in the military, ex-military. Just like Fessler, just like Heatherly, just like everybody else Lou lined up with. All these people had a military background. So the brethren of trust begins as soon as they say hello to each other. They already are indebted to Lou before he did anything because of the fact they both shared military experience. It's just natural. Right? So now they feel obligated. And Lou says, look, I can't have this guy goof on. Talking like he's doing. This guy's really, and he's with those other guys, Third Phase of Moon. I think Greer's paying them for all I know. I think that's what's going on. And that's what Lou was saying. Lou thought me, Third Phase and others, even Scambian, were on Greer's payroll to go against him. And the funny thing about it is that's exactly what I said earlier is what they do. They project. Because that's exactly what Lou was doing to us. Just like the boyfriend who always accuses the girlfriend of cheating. You know, I know you're cheating. No, I'm not. I don't. Well, where were you? Well, you know, da 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 da. Meanwhile, he's out there cheating. Same thing. That's what Lou did. Lou created this band of brothers for ufology to attack us, post our history, make up lies, whatever it takes. And they did. And nothing happened to them. Nothing. Totally went against YouTube community guidelines at least a dozen times. But for some reason, it never got looked at. Why? Did Lou have that much power to make a call into YouTube and say, hey, we're going to do all this shit. Don't take us down. I mean, that can't happen. I just don't see that as a thing. But it might be. It might be. It might be why we can't grow. Alien Girl can't grow, even though she's picked up some subscribers, but she's been putting herself out there to go on other channels. But it's not like the old days where, you just sit here and 200, 300 a month. It's not like that anymore. Sad. Sad. All because of clowns. All because of people who lie. They ruined it all. They did. It's not me. It definitely isn't because of me. My antics. There's no way. It's really sad. And they've put so many complaints in to so many channels that YouTube just said, screw it. The whole genre is going to be shadow banned. That's pretty much it. I'll tell you how it's shadow banned. I went to a channel, a friend of mine's channel. He's a First Amendment auditor. Very big channel. Over 100,000 subscribers. He put a video up a month ago that was going viral, and I was one of the first people in there to make a comment. And it was a good comment. Something like, bro, you're the best at this. There's nobody better. Those pigs need to keep an eye at that. Usually, people would go nuts over a comment like that. 2 months later, I don't even have a thumbs up on it. I was just there earlier. And I've done this test time and time again. I've done it with Third Phase of Moon, Third Phase UFO Report, Dark Hour Paranormal, Alien Girl, and so on. And that's impossible. But meanwhile, the message that was after mine, 167 thumbs up. The one underneath that, 90 something. Sad. It's not even our genre. Yeah, I don't know. I left that, and I came back as Goofon Lives, because if you come in as another account, you can see if they're shadow banning you. If you're like, if I don't see that Goofon was there, then I'll know something worse is happening. But I saw me there. I saw my comment, and the only thumbs up, mine. It's impossible for me not to get a thumbs up. So I've done this test now on a lot of channels, same results. I'm doing it again now. And I want to see if things have changed. And that's amazing to me. That I can see me, but I don't think anybody else can. The person who owns the channel can see it. So when you ask them, do you see me? They're like, yeah, I see you. I see people who I've blocked come in on StreamYard. And I'm like, wait, I thought I blocked that person. I go to the channel and they're not on there, but it showed up on StreamYard. Well, this isn't that. But there's shadow banning going on to the 10th degree. And it's sad. It's sad. Just because you have an opinion. Well, you know, I don't like what they say, but I don't go and run and complain to mommy and daddy on YouTube. You know how childish it is? It's so childish. You know, Fessler came on the show and apologized for the way he acted. And then 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, he's hating me again because I didn't like the way Grush was a hearsay guy. What do you care what I think? He's like, who cares? Grow up. Live in your own world, man. You know? I'm nobody. Until I'm somebody in this field, then attack me. I'm nobody. I'm not in congressional hearings. I'm not on television. I'm not even in any movies right now. Or TV. When I become a figure that popular, then I think it's better you attack me then. Maybe that's when. But now, who am I? Nobody even knows me. You can go up to Birchhead and say, do you know Rich Giordano? Never heard of him. Do you know Goofon? Mufon? No, Goofon. Never heard of it. Nobody knows. So, we've got such a long way to go as Goofon. I tell you, if I don't start stepping up my activity in this field, I have a feeling we're going to be pushed aside and forgotten about. Because we're a dying breed, people who tell the truth. A dying breed. You know what people like? And this is no offense to any of my friends or people who have channels. They like people who live in a world where the possibility's always there. That disclosure could be around the corner, right? And that these whistleblowers do make more of an impact than what I'm saying they're doing. They always have the glass is half full type of view. I, on the other hand, see a glass half empty. Why? Well, I've been in it longer than a lot of these people who are so willing to believe. Like, here's one of the things somebody said. Somebody said this. I'm not going to say who. It was a girl. He just seems so credible. Don't they listen to the words that are coming out of their mouths? Don't they understand? I don't get how. See, when I first got into the field, I understood everything immediately. It was very apparent to me this whole ufology world is a joke. It's a joke. And the further I get in the field, the more of a joke it is. And the more clowns are popping up, peddling their bullshit lies. Just like Scambian. He thinks he's doing ufology good. But he's not. He's doing the opposite. Because he's lying. Yeah. And when you lie, you're not credible. So why do people even bother listening to him? Because he's also a little bit out there on the clown wagon, if you know what I mean. He's a little bit off the reserve. I heard he can build a hell of a cabin, though. Yeah. That's where he goes and polishes the skulls of victims. Unbelievable. And he comes out and people say the same thing. He seems so like he knows, you know, he's just so confident in what he's saying. But they don't listen to the words. They don't do the research to find out if it's truthful. Everybody thinks they can figure it out just by listening to people. Such a nice person. Why would he say that? Ted Bundy was a nice guy too. So was Jack the Ripper, I'm told. Very nice fellow. Well, these are the clowns we're dealt with. I don't know, man. I'm burnt. I'm done. All right, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys on Monday. I'm taking tomorrow off. There will be a video later on for the members. Yeah, I know I said that the last 2 days, but there will be. And it'll be good. And I think, is there anything else I need to go over? No. Any other videos I need to show? Let's see. No. No update on Hawaii. No update on the Peru. Nothing. Let's just hope this weekend something happens. Something major. Anyway, yeah, the Zodiac Killer was a great guy, Donovan said. I know, right? I would have hung out with that guy. You guys are great. Raging Against Machine, how you doing? Thank you for that. Caffeine Stew, Ted Bundy was a nice guy. That's why he was able to kill some. Yeah, I know. Right. Oh, the poll. That's right. I did a poll. Thank God. Thank you, Sapphire Elf. So we did a poll. And it's a good one, I thought. Let me pull it up. I'll end it. Hey, wow, 169 votes. What bothers you the most about the UFO community? I'm going to end it now. It'll pop up. All right, coming in at 17%. What bothers you most about the UFO community? 17% people said because they blindly believed without proof. Okay. At 21%, what bothers you the most about the UFO community? Everyone lies at 21%. What bothers you most about the UFO community? Coming in at 28%. They keep getting away with lying. And the number one at 33%, what bothers you the most about the UFO community? Never any evidence. And thank you for that. Yeah, thank you, Sapphire. It's true. But thank you very much, guys. I'm going to head out of here. We'll be back. Thank you, moderators and super chatters. Stellar. Let me make sure I didn't forget anybody on PayPal. We're good. Didn't forget anybody on Cash App? No? Good. So thank you very much. And the newcomers and veterans making that chat room sing. Thank you for being a part of the community here at Goofonia. Once you're in, you can't leave. Even if you think you left, we know. All right. Thank you again. And it was fun. Went by pretty quick, I guess. And we do Truthology. Oh, Truthology for ufology for you. Me too. All right, thanks again. We'll see you Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on YouTube. I'm Rich Giordano for GoofOn. Have a great weekend. Be safe, be kind, alien bless. Ooh, I almost hit the wrong one.
just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in the rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.